Hey Sherry, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine. Thanks.
Hi Sherry, how are you?
How are you? Can you hear me today? Hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's real low.
What is wrong with this stupid thing?
What's that?
This computer, there's no telling. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better.
Now where am I at? There it is. I have to turn it all the way up, the volume all the way up.
Yeah, I do too on mine for some reason. How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm getting ready to go see if there's a cracker or something I can steal while I'm
Yeah, go do it. Go do it. Good time to go.
Hey, Dennis, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Who's this?
Okay, good. My video's not behaving. Wait a minute.
Okay,
Okay, there we are.
there you go. It says Andrew on your screen.
Yeah, that's my oldest son. I think he must have logged in. I'll be
Okay.
Andrew for today.
Okay, just make sure I know who it was. That's all. Do you notice my attire?
Appreciate. Oh, I just now, man, that's amazing. That is the best looking shirt, and you are the best looking man I've ever seen.
Well, that's I'll pay you later. Thank you. You
Thank
know,
you.
I think this thing should actually be in the center and big
Oh, really?
on the front. Yeah, I think it's such a cool logo. And I also was thinking about the quote on the back. It's got three things. I can't remember what it says.
Live good, feel good, hop good.
Yeah, I would just change it and just say live good, hob good.
Live good, hop good.
Yeah, it's easier to remember. It kind of encompasses all of those sentiments. Just a thought.
Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate that. We're trying to craft a simple message, and all that kind of feedback is really, really helpful as we're trying to figure all that stuff out.
Yeah, I think live good, hob good it's distinct, and you can do a lot with it. With the text, you can put them on top of each other or side to side or whatever. But I think it's pretty cool. I like the in this case, I like the logo with the tractor and the sun. I guess that is not or the moon. I don't know what it is, but I think that's pretty cool. And yeah, it does a good job.
Well, I appreciate that. I had a freelancer on Fiverr create 3 or 4, and that was the one we selected. And that's not we kind of had it recolored by a local graphic guy who does t-shirts and stuff too for other things.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've been pleased with it. We get a lot of good feedback on the logo. So, but it costs like $45.
Yeah, I like Fiverr. I've used them a lot over the years. They even have people who can do websites. That can do ad campaigns if you want to. All kinds of stuff that is available on that system. Very reasonable price too. And if you get somebody, I've had some people from like Pakistan and other places like that, and sometimes you run into a little bit of problem with coordinating because they're in a completely different time zone. I've had some issues with that, but yeah, I've had good luck with them. And I think there are other services like that around, that you can try out. I'm trying to think of the other one I've used, but yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Hey, Zach,
That's-
how are you today, buddy?
Doing good, enjoying the sunshine. Getting
Where's your
a little
hat and your
lunch.
gloves, you big wuss?
What's that?
Where's your hat and gloves, you big wuss?
I took them off about 10 minutes ago.
Okay. Okay, fair enough, fair
You
enough.
know me well.
Yeah, man. Well, I don't know, for some reason, my little office here is always cold. Now, I may not be saying that this summer, but it's actually pretty nice outside. But in here, it's cold. I have no idea why. We don't have the AC on or anything. I think it's kind of under a porch, and I think it just is naturally cooler. Okay, let's see here. Okay. All right. I think Taylor Waldon is here. And hi, Taylor. How are you? Welcome.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good. We'll just wait a little bit longer. A few people still signing in. Hi, Wayne. How are you?
Hey, doing good. How are you?
All right. All right. Hey, Wayne, I have to tell you, I didn't buy them from you, I must admit, but we bought some pecans, as I call them. I know it's supposed to be pecans, and my wife roasted them in the oven with butter and salt. And oh my God, they are so good. It's unbelievable.
Uh-huh.
So
Good, good.
the thing I never had before. I'm really impressed with them. We have a number of pecan trees here on the farm that are over 100 years old. And so we have a fair number of pecans in our freezer, I must admit. I think the last time we harvested, it was 400 pounds of pecans.
Tag on. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
this year was a real good crop.
Yeah. Well, we got the crop about 4 years ago and have not had a single one since. So I don't know why. We did have some flooding with a hurricane. We think that may have added
Right.
to it. But we have some that are over 100 years old and some that are about 50 years old, two different locations. And the 100-year-old ones, it just went nuts. I mean, we were just taking wheelbarrows full of pecans. And there's a lady somewhere around here, I think her business is called the Nut House. And
Okay.
you take your pecans there and she'll shell them. She's got some machine that shells them for reasonable cost. And so we did that. And now our freezer is full of hundreds of pounds of pecans. So life in the country, right?
That's right.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I think others will join us. So I want to introduce my friend and former alumni of this program, Taylor Waldon. Taylor is the CEO and founder of Simple and Sentimental, which is one of the most successful small businesses out of Eastern North Carolina, digital business, I should say. And I think she's going to tell us a little bit about her journey, and hopefully we'll have some time to ask her some questions. I'm sure some of you will have questions for her. And so with no further ado, let me introduce Taylor Waldon. Let me make you co-host, Taylor. I'm sorry, I forgot to do it. Brady's not here.
Oh, it's fine. I don't have slides or anything. So
Okay, good. Well, I did it anyway. So there
all
you
right.
go.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and I'll tell you guys kind of the story of how Simple and Sentimental got started and what we're doing now. So I went to ECU. I graduated in December of 2019, and I was a freshman in the fall of 2016. I was originally going to ECU studying interior design, and I did not have a job. I had a job like from the time I was 16 all the way up until I left to go to college. I'm originally from Winston-Salem, so I came to Greenville to go to ECU. Didn't have a job here, so in between classes, I would practice like my interior design stuff, like art and all that kind of thing. And I started teaching myself how to do hand lettering or calligraphy, like fancy handwriting. And as I practiced doing it, people started noticing and they started asking me to make them gifts with my handwriting on them because they liked the way that it looked. I personally look back at it now and wonder why anyone bought anything from me because I don't like the way it looks now. But anyway, so people were asking to buy stuff, and Black Friday rolled around, and my now husband, he was my boyfriend at the time, We found this die cutting machine, like the machines that make decals. I don't know if y'all are familiar with like Crickets or Silhouettes. That one of them was on sale for Black Friday, and he was like, "You should get one of these machines and start making stickers." And we went to, like, I think it was Joann's Fabric or something at 2 a.m. and got a Cricut. And I started making vinyl decals where I would handwrite on a piece of like white paper with a black Sharpie, take a picture of it, manually go into Photoshop and remove the white background because I didn't know any better, and turn my decals into, or my handwriting into decals, and I would sell them to people in Facebook groups, specifically around ECU because college students love stickers. So I would post in there like, hey, I make decals, I'll make whatever you want. I would make monograms, I would make words, like whatever they wanted. And then I also started an Etsy shop along with it. So in between classes, you could find me in front of the Dowdy student store, meeting people to give them their stickers that they order with me through Facebook. Or after class, I would go back to my dorm room, pull my Cricut out from underneath my bed with all my vinyl and spread out all over the floor, making these decals. And I remember there'd be some days where we'd have like 25 orders, and we were so, I would text Nick and be like, "Oh my gosh, you need to get out of class and come help me. I have so many orders to fulfill." And now we fulfill like 500 orders in a day. It's nothing. But anyway, so by the end of my freshman year, I had 500 sales on Etsy selling my decals. And that summer, I had more space because I moved out of my dorm room. And I ended up starting to sell gift boxes. So if you know what Simple and Sentimental is now, we're primarily known for gift boxes and tumblers. We're not known for decals anymore, but that is how it started. And as things progressed, I started adding new things to the product line. So first new thing that I added was gift boxes, specifically bridesmaid proposal boxes. So if you know anyone who's gotten married recently or really within the past couple of years, they may have asked their bridesmaids to be in their wedding by giving them a gift box. And we were one of the first Etsy shops to start selling those. And we were the first Etsy shop to start selling engagement gift boxes, which is the same thing as the bridesmaid box, but it's for your friend whenever they get engaged. And it's got like a wine tumbler, a ring dish, they can store their ring in it, all kinds of little cute stuff. So as time went on, I expanded my product line. And I think that summer 2017, in July, I had like my best month in sales ever. And I called ECU and I changed my major from interior design to business. So I went back to the fall as a college of business student studying management. And while I was walking on campus, there was a sign in the mall in the grass that said Pirate Entrepreneurship Challenge, win money for your business. And again, Nick seems to be the one that prompts me all the time. So he's like, we should enter that. Maybe we could win some money. So we entered it. We did not know how to pitch. I don't come from a family that was business owners. Actually, both of our families didn't really like that I was doing this, honestly. They're like, that's not stable. Like, what if it fails, kind of thing? Like, you need to get a job that's steady. So we entered this pitch competition. We visited the Miller School and they taught us what a pitch was so I could learn what to say when the judge asked me questions and all that. And long story short, we made it through the whole Pirate Entrepreneurship Challenge and we ended up winning first place. So I entered it on a whim and we took home $12,500 in February of 2018. The craziest part of that story is the night before the final round of the Pirate Challenge, there was another pitch competition happening locally at, it was actually in Still Life, but anyway, it was in downtown Greenville. It was called the Greenville Area Pitch Competition, and that's open to anyone, and they still do it. I think COVID may have put a hinder on it last year, but if you're in the Greenville area, are eligible for that. So we entered into that, and I thought I was entering it for practice for the next night, so I could practice pitching because I've never been up until now, didn't really enjoy public speaking, was not very familiar with it. I would get really nervous, so nervous that I would have to wear shirts that went all the way up to my neck to cover the red splotches that would cover my chest because I was so nervous to talk. So I went and practiced and they called out third place and it wasn't me, and they called out second place and it wasn't me. So I turned to Nick and was like, okay, well, at least I have tomorrow night. Maybe I'll win tomorrow night and get some money. And we actually won first place in that competition as well. So within 24 hours, we won first place in 2 competitions and won about $18,500 total. So that money allowed us to hire some employees because at the time it was still just us with 1 part-time employee. We were in a little 8-foot by 8-foot room at Greenville Seed, which is in the Willis building by Town Common in Greenville. They'll give students like free little offices. They're like 8-foot by 8-foot and not very big, but better than my apartment. So we got out of there. We went to, it's off of North Green Street. There's a business incubator, and the name of it is slipping my Technology Enterprise Center. So there is a Greenville incubator, and it's called the Technology Enterprise Center. We got 500 square feet of office space there. The rent is really cheap. So if you know anyone who needs office space and you're considered like a startup, small business type of thing, they'll give you a good deal on some rent. So we went there and we did up, by the time we left, we had expanded to 2,600 square feet there, just growing our online operation. We've always been all online. We've never had a brick and mortar presence. We did try it out at our most recent office, but it never worked for us. We've always been all online. Yeah, so that's kind of like how it got started. By the time we left the TEC, we moved to the office we're in right now. We've got 2,200 square feet. We're looking at off Fire Tower Road in Winterville. We've got 10 employees. So I've graduated and my husband has 2. We both work here full time along with, I think, 7 other full-time employees. And we've got a couple of part-time people. So it's grown quite a bit. Like I said, we still sell all online. We still sell lots of gifts. So gift boxes. We do tumblers. We're starting to expand into corporate gifts as well. But yeah, that's kind of a snapshot of how we got to where we are now. And I did end up graduating. A lot of people told me to drop out while I was in school, but I did not. I hung around and got my degree. So yeah. And then I did Accelerate Rule last fall, and it was awesome.
Yeah. Well, Taylor, that's a great story. Talk a little bit about the choices you've made for online selling. You mentioned that you started with an Etsy store. Can you talk about that journey and what you experienced with Etsy and then your plans going forward?
Yeah, so I started an Etsy shop, which I think is a great recommendation for anyone who has a business where the things you're making are handmade or vintage, specifically handmade. It's a good thing when you're starting it, but I will say we are like in the top 1% of Etsy shops. Like we have a very high performing shop. And as you grow to that level, you start to run into some issues. So if you do have an Etsy shop or you plan to start one, you should always have a website and just alongside it. Just at the end of the day, you don't own Etsy's traffic. You don't own your Etsy store. Etsy owns it. And that can be really scary when your business, like for us, right, even right now, most of our revenue is generated through Etsy. And I'm very risk averse. So it's like, it's a little like in the back of my mind, like, okay, like what if that Etsy shop wasn't there tomorrow? I mean, obviously we would figure it out, but I think like our primary goal for 2021 is to start driving more traffic to our website. So we actually own the traffic, we own the information and the customer emails and all that kind of stuff that Etsy doesn't let you have. But what's good about Etsy is that they have their own little ecosystem of traffic that like, I don't know if I'm sure many of you have heard of Etsy. A lot of people will go, like they navigate there first to find personalized gifts, and I sell personalized gifts. So it's the perfect place for us to go. There's some people that they won't even bother Google searching things anymore. They'll just go straight to Etsy to find the gift that they're looking for. So a lot of times with Etsy, you're capturing people that maybe you wouldn't be able to capture through a Google ad or social media or whatever. But that doesn't mean that there aren't people to capture in those other places too that don't go on Etsy. So it's kind of, there's pros and cons to an Etsy shop, but for us it's worked and it's helped us grow quite a bit. But it's also taught us how important it is to have our own website, and we use Shopify. I have a few different Shopify stores, and I highly recommend it. It's been always really user friendly, and Shopify, the reason I like them the most compared to other providers, they've got a lot of stuff built into the way they build their shops. It's optimized for SEO, which is the most important thing you can have for your website, is to be able to get found online. So yeah, that's kind of how I started on just Etsy and then ended up adding the website.
I promise I'll shut up, but I just want to prime the pump with some questions.
Yeah.
Can you talk about your digital advertising? You mentioned SEO. Can you just talk about the things you've done that you found helpful, from whether it's Google AdWords or Facebook or whatever?
Yeah. So we've always had a social media presence, and social media is a slow grow. We spent years on it and like didn't really see a lot come out of it, maybe the first couple of years. But at the same time, I was in school and didn't dedicate as much time to it as I could have and as much research to it as I could have. But in the last couple of years, our social media presence has grown quite a bit compared to what it did before, and it started driving traffic to our website, which has been awesome. The primary platforms we use are Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, a little bit of LinkedIn, and then we're recently decided to do YouTube as well, which I'll dive into a little bit on why we did that. Instagram has been the most successful when it comes to driving traffic to the website and generating sales. And I think the primary thing with that is that we've been always focused on stories. So like if you're on Instagram, like the little Instagram stories, if you can be really present on those, like having at least one story up every 24 hours, it really does make a difference because it shows people that you're, well, one, it's social proof. So people know that you're real. They know that they're not getting scammed, because that's one thing with like Etsy versus Shopify, or even Amazon versus your own website. When people are on Etsy or Amazon, they feel a sense of trust because they trust Etsy or Amazon and they know that they're not getting scammed. Where if it's your website, like there's not as much, unless you put it on there, there's not as much proof that you're not like just never going to ship their order or whatever. Especially older people tend to have those kind of misconceptions. Like I know my husband's parents, like my mother-in-law had not been on my website until about 2 weeks ago. Like she does, like, not that she doesn't love the business, she knows everything that we sell, but she hates websites. She will not go on them. So what we do is for social proof on our website, we have reviews from real people. So it shows that people have bought from us before, that we've fulfilled on our promises. We have over 10,000 5-star averaging reviews. So if we get reviews on Etsy, we'll copy those over to our website to show that people have bought from us. We'll show like photos of customers using products. Of course, like the product photos you take to put on your website are probably going to be a lot higher quality and maybe showcasing parts of the product that you really like. But if you can get pictures of your customers using stuff, it really resonates with other people and shows people are really buying your product. And then there's even some stuff you can do with like live counters, like you can show how many people are on your website at one time, just to show that people are on it and enjoying it. And then also showing your face, having like an about our business page, showing your team, your like employees, you telling the story. People really connect with that. I mean, there might be people that never go to your about page, but for the people that do, it's an extra layer of like, we're not some random company in another country that's never going to ship your item.
Sure.
That was kind of a tangent off of Instagram, but
Tell us about YouTube and why you did that.
yeah, so YouTube, the first recommendation came from Warren. I don't know if he's been on here or not.
He's been a host and people are using him. It's really successful. Yeah.
All right, Warren, I love Warren. He's done our Google ads and stuff for a little over a year now. He was actually the first person to tell me to do YouTube because I don't know if he talked. I'm not gonna. He
didn't bring it up. He didn't bring it up.
Okay. So if you notice when you Google stuff, especially if you Google something that's like a how-to type question, like how to replace an air filter in a car, the first result that shows up is usually a YouTube video that shows you how to do that. So think about what questions your potential customer might be Googling or just other keywords they might be searching, and how, if you had a YouTube video, putting those same keywords in the title, talking about those keywords in the video, and then even in the description of your video using those keywords, it might be more likely to show up near the top. And if you think about it, Google owns YouTube. So they are like, they have the same mission. Like there's like, it's not like where I'm trying to think, like Facebook and YouTube actually like don't like each other because obviously they're not the same company. But if you do have a YouTube channel and you try to post a YouTube link on your Facebook, it will never perform well. Like Facebook doesn't want people to leave the app. So, but with Google and YouTube, they work together hand in hand. So you make YouTube videos with those keywords, and then when your customers search them, you're going to be more likely to beat out the search results. It's easier to do it with a YouTube video than it is to do it on your own website page or with a blog. Not that it's not, I've done it before. Like we've got a couple of keywords that were on like the first couple of results, and it's taken a lot of time. But with a YouTube video, you just shoot to the top immediately. So YouTube videos that you could do talking about your products, answering common questions. Like if you guys have like an FAQ page, that's a great resource for YouTube videos, and just thinking about common questions that you get from your customers.
Can you talk about content creation and how you do that? Blogs, and you have your special Sunday event, I think, that you do.
Yes, I used to do it. I haven't done it in a while, but and also as a side note for YouTube, I recently bought a book called The YouTube Formula by Daryl Eves, and it has been awesome. You're shaking your head. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it's been great. So the guy who wrote it, it's I don't know if y'all are familiar with like Mr. Beast. He's like headquartered in Greenville, and he's one of the biggest YouTube people. And he actually consulted for Mr. Beast for a while. So great resource. He's consulted for a lot of big YouTubers, and the book is great. Even if you don't end up doing YouTube, there's a lot of information that could easily be transferable to other social media platforms. Like, for example, one top tip that I got out of there was thinking about what is the mission of the social media platform that you're posting on, or the website or the Etsy or whatever, and how can you align your mission with their mission? Because if you spend too much time trying to fight it, like I know like a lot of people complain like, oh, like the algorithm on social media, it's so annoying, whatever. Work with the algorithm. Don't spend your days like complaining about it and wondering why you're not getting likes or comments or whatever. But if you think about how the algorithm works and then how you can create content that partners with it, it works really well, because then you and the platform or whatever win. So that's one of the things that I've gotten out of the book that's been really good. But with content creation, I still am the primary person who does marketing and puts up all of our website listings, hoping to change that soon, but it is still just me. I did recently have an employee start helping me though, because there is so much. We do Instagram Reels. We did have a TikTok for a while, but anyway, we're focusing on Instagram because we don't want to spread ourselves too thin. So she'll help me do the Reels, Instagram stories, feed posts. One thing that you can do with a plethora of like social media choices is to pick a few to really go hard on, instead of like trying to spread yourself too thin and posting randomly on different platforms. I also use Loomly to schedule out content in advance. It's Loomly. I picked that one out of all the other ones because it lets you post in Facebook groups. And a lot of e-commerce stores really benefit from Facebook groups. I've been investing in mine for a year and haven't seen it yet, but like I just wanted to make sure I had that capability to post in Facebook groups if I need to. It also makes it really easy to navigate across different brands. I've got Simple and Sentimental, and then we recently launched Man Gifts, which is like personalized gifts for men. So it's very easy for me to go back and forth with scheduling content between those two using Loomly. And then also OmniSend. It's OMNI send. That's what I use for e-commerce, like email marketing. And it's been awesome since we started using it. I think before we were using Constant Contact. And then I tried MailChimp, and I think I've tried every email marketing provider out there. And OmniSend has been my favorite by far. I really like how when you start using it, you can see how much money your little funnels are generating. And it's really cool. If you're not doing email marketing for your e-commerce website, definitely recommend doing that and starting to build your email list. If you do choose to do OmniSend, they've got these pre-built little funnels to where they'll like track people on your website. So like say I at some point entered my email into your website and then I go on your website again later, it'll track me. And if I go on like a certain product page and I don't end up adding it to my cart or doing anything with it, you can set it up to where I would receive an email saying, hey, did you see something you liked? And it'll show the product that I viewed. And then there's also stuff with abandoned cart and other stuff that's been really beneficial to us as well. So with content creation, we really try to think about how can we best serve our customer and how can we keep it interesting? So sometimes we do things that don't really seem to relate to what we sell. Like for example, office tours. For some reason, our best performing YouTube video is a tour of our office. People like watching it, I don't know. But then if you think about it, when you do social media content, you want to give them a reason to come back, not just constantly pushing the product, but letting them relate to you or relate to what you sell. And also providing tips. So like we'll talk about like gifting tips since we sell personalized gifts, like how to give a great gift ideas for Mother's Day, like whatever. And sometimes it's not even about stuff that we sell, but it kind of, people will identify us as a resource for gifts. It makes them want to come back and maybe become a customer in the future.
All right, any questions from the group?
Yeah, I've got a question. You mentioned early on, making a strong effort this year to push more traffic to your website. Like, what are some of the things you're doing to do that? I know you loosely touched on some of them already, but
Yeah.
I was wondering what your plan for that was.
Yeah, so one thing that we're primarily doing is a bigger focus on social media than we have in the past. And with social media, we are never talking about the Etsy shop. I used to push people to the Etsy shop, not anymore. It is primarily to our website. And we've even done some things like, and I don't know if anyone on here has an Etsy shop or an Amazon store. There's some little workarounds. Like for example, on Etsy, you cannot advertise your website as like, oh, go shop on my website instead of Etsy. You can have a link, but you can't tell them to go shop there instead. So what I do is I have a little link underneath all of my, at the top of all of my listing descriptions that says, want to get 10% off your first order, go to this link and join our email list and we'll send you a 10% off coupon for Etsy. But in the email, they get they have an option. So when they receive the email that's got the coupon code, there's a section that's like, do you want to get 15% off instead? go to our website and use this coupon code, you get 15% off your order instead of 10. And it works great. And the thing is, we're not breaking any rules. I mean, like they opted into our email list. We can decide whatever we want to send them via email. So we have seen some really good results with that. There's some other things we've done to kind of push with OmniSend has been awesome. I can't speak highly enough of that. And then with YouTube, we're trying to drive some more traffic there as well.
Okay. Taylor, Zach has a chocolate shop in Asheville.
Oh,
He's
cool.
our first Asheville guy in the program.
Very cool.
Yeah, thank you so much for that.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, I
What was
know
the
you're
name?
thinking stuff. Joe's sitting there going,
What was the name of your book?
Oh, the YouTube Formula by Daryl Eves. That's been
Okay.
great.
Thank you.
Hey, so yesterday I was listening to a podcast and that guy was on the podcast. It was really awesome.
Yeah.
And he's talking about, and I'll put the link to the podcast in the chat thing later, but one of the things he's talking about is that YouTube's come out with this thing called Shorts, and it's basically like videos to compete with TikTok. And so I think one of the advantages of it is because, with everything going on in just the video realm, and what's happening is YouTube's dumping so much money in there. They're basically subsidizing folks right now because there aren't a lot of people using it. So it's a good opportunity to get in and while it's still kind of fresh. So I'll put that link in the in the site here after this meeting.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of that. That's great. Good to know. And another thing that I've also learned with social media, if a platform ever comes out with something new, use it like crazy and it will serve you well. Like, I mean, if you think about TikTok, like the most popular TikTokers are the ones who started using the platform first. Same thing with Instagram Reels and anything else. The platforms will reward you for using their new services. So it sounds like getting on YouTube Shorts would be the thing to do.
any other questions or thoughts? One thing, Taylor, tell us about your plans. I understand you've bought a building and you're continuing to grow rapidly.
Yeah, so we did buy a building in Ayden. I don't know if anyone lives in Ayden. It's off Highway 11. We got right now we have 2,200 square feet, and we'll have 7,000 square feet over there. They're doing renovations right now, so we should be moved in within the next couple of weeks. But right now, our office does not have. It's an office. It's not a production facility. It's not a warehouse. But we are going to be able to have some of those capabilities. I didn't really talk a lot about our production, but for Simple and Sentimental, we actually fulfill all of the personalized gift orders. We manufacture. We're really more of a manufacturer than a retailer because everything we sell is pretty much made to order. So we do all that.
Wow.
And it helps us to have a really fast turnaround time, which is another huge thing with e-commerce is you have to have a fast turnaround time. No more 1-2 week processing time. People will get pissed at you. Don't do it. I think ours is 1 business day for most orders. And the reason it's just Amazon has really spoiled everyone into thinking that you should have your package in hand in 2 days. And while that's not feasible for small businesses like us, you can do as much as you can, making your processing time, your turnaround time really fast. And then we also, I think we entered into the contract with UPS in August of last year. So if anyone needs a contact at UPS, I have one. We were able to get a contract there where we have a much faster transit time, especially to places on the East Coast than we did with USPS. And if anyone else ships, I don't know if you're an anomaly and have had an awesome experience with USPS, but most people I talk to have not had wonderful experiences. And our UPS experience has been pretty good so far. They've even within our, and I don't know if it's in our contract but if you decide to go down the route, make sure you ask UPS about paying for things. Like they pay for our ShipStation account. They've bought like label makers for us. They've even offered like in the future to buy computers and things like that. So all things that USPS would never do. Like I have to beg USPS to come pick up my packages, let alone pay for a computer. So make sure you mention that if you ever do go into like contract negotiation. And if you do, again, go into contract negotiation, there's a company out of Atlantic Beach, I think it's Atlantic Beach, called Transportation Impact, and they will negotiate your shipping rates for you. If anyone knows Parker Overton, he somehow he's who got me contacted with them. He's got like a friend there, but Jamie Vogel is the person I've been in contact with in the past, and they'll negotiate your rates between maybe USPS too, but I know primarily UPS and FedEx to make sure you get a good deal. And I think they take like a percentage off the top, so there's that to keep in mind too. But
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've got an ECU connection somewhere along the line, and great company. And there's a guy active at ECU. He's a software programmer. My mind is gone right now, but Ryan, what's his last name? But he was the guy.
Ryan Butcher.
Yeah. Yeah, Ryan's a real good guy, and he worked with Transportation Impact. He actually had a subsidiary or a separate company, and Transportation Impact bought it. So he's Ryan Butcher, that's right. He has a lot of knowledge. He actually wrote all the code that runs that system for Transportation Impact. So he's really knowledgeable on that whole subject, and I could get him to be a guest speaker, I'm sure. He wants to help. So I'll keep that in mind. We'll get him on here at some point.
yeah.
I have a question about your how you approach your shipping. Like, I have a product, so I have a sanitary toilet plunger, and Amazon, like you said, Amazon's kind of ruined shipping for everybody because they want it in a day or 2 days, and then they ship everything free if you have a Prime account. And so part of what I've been balancing is, like, I think everybody wants free shipping, but it jacks up the price of my product by $12, because I got to cover West Coast stuff. So do you have free shipping with your stuff, or do you have them added on, or if you explore different strategies? And could you talk about what your experience is relative to that?
Yeah, so we have experienced a lot, and that's one of the reasons that Etsy gets on my nerves. So they had, I think maybe it was a year ago now, came out with this thing that was basically like, if you don't offer free shipping over on orders over $35, we are going to take you out of search. Is basically what they said. So it pretty much forced shops to offer free shipping, or at least free shipping over $35. And then we ran into a problem where we would get customers messaging us, my order's at $32. Can you just create a listing for $3 so I can get free shipping?
Right.
And, yeah, it was crazy. So we just ended up doing shipping on everything and built the cost of shipping into the cost of the item. That was what worked best for us. But then it gets frustrating when people want to order like 2 items, and it's like, I could be giving you a better price, but
Right.
it's built in. So I think it's a matter of like, if you're in an industry where people are going to want to buy more than one thing, and maybe you set up your listings in such a way that you offer breaks. But if someone's buying just one, I would definitely consider building the cost of shipping into that. And then what we do is we calculate how much it costs to ship the item from, like, obviously we're in Greenville to California. Then we calculate how much it is to ship it to the East Coast, and then we meet in the middle. And we find that most of our packages end up getting shipped to the East Coast, and I mean, I'd say less than 40% get shipped toward California. Our biggest states are California, Texas, and New York. And I mean, part of it's because they're the most populous states, but it does end up balancing out in the end. So that's one thing you can do to help the cost not be quite as much. Like, it would be 12 to ship to California. Maybe it's like 8 or 9 to ship somewhere on the East Coast. You can meet in the middle and help the cost out a little bit. But
Yeah,
then
that's pretty much what I've done at this point. I've packaged them 1, 2, or 3 so that they're not paying $10 a piece on shipping 3, where it only costs $4 more in reality. So, okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Are you on Amazon? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I've signed up. I gotta finish my store on Amazon. I made a conscious decision initially not to go on Amazon, but I think it's something that I need to do just from a credibility perspective, and it'll help drive awareness and some traffic maybe.
Because I feel like for a plunger, that's where I would go.
Yeah.
Amazon, And one thing you can do once you get your store up and running is trying to, like, I don't know if it would mean giving plungers to people, but just maybe finding like 20 family and friends to have them go on your Amazon store, check out and everything, and leave you a 5-star review with a photo would be good.
Appreciate that.
I'll buy one.
Why not 2?
Too much shipping.
There you go.
Hey, Taylor,
you mentioned earlier about partnering with the algorithms versus competing with them. Can you speak to maybe some resources that you've used to read up on that and to study what those algorithms are so you know how to best partner with them?
Yeah, the YouTube formula has been awesome as far as understanding the YouTube algorithm. Other than that, Google searches, because they change so often that I usually stray away from actually buying books about social media because social media changes so often. And another thing you can do is find people on social media that talk about algorithms a lot. So maybe that means finding someone like a Daryl Eves who is just like dedicated to becoming a YouTube expert and keeping up with his podcast features, keeping up with recent things that he's talking about, articles he's writing. That tends to be the best strategy. It's just watching the top people in each platform and figuring out what they're doing. And then another practical thing that you can do is to find other people who are in your niche on whatever social media it is. So for me, I would go find other people who sell personalized gifts. And going on their pages, specifically go find people who have more followers, more engagement, more whatever than you do, whatever matters to you. And find what content they're posting that's getting the most engagement, most likes, most comments, most whatever, and then replicate content like that. I'm not saying go copy them, but go and look and see what's working for them and figure out how you could incorporate that into your content as well. I think some people call it like unicorn content or something, but I don't really like calling it that. So just go find the content that works really well for other businesses that are similar to you and try to integrate it. And then if you're on Reels, one practical thing that we've tried that has worked is using sounds and songs that are trending at the time. So it doesn't even matter if you like the song or whatever, but if you can make a reel that matches with that trend or uses that song, the songs on Reels are actually another way to get found. And it does tend to reward people who are staying on the trends.
Have you ever heard of the term newsjacking?
No, I've not heard of that.
Newsjacking is where you take something that's in the news, getting a lot of publicity, and convert that to your content. So it might be writing a story that's about something in the news that connects your product with it and gives people a discount, for example. So it's a way to hijack some of the content, if you will, that is trending or getting a lot of likes. You obviously have to be careful because some of it might not be appropriate, but apparently that's and it is legal as long as you're not copying it per se. But that's the same sort of thing, I guess, as finding trending music and so forth.
Yeah, that's a good idea too. Staying on top of trends. I'm not on Twitter personally, but I'll go see what's trending every once in a while just to like be in the know. I don't know, with a e-commerce brand like ours, if we can hop on trends, like making products like wine tumblers that say funny things that are trendy, that tends to work really well for us. So
anyone else got anything? How about Taylor, have you done anything with giveaways or promotions, working with other partners in a giveaway? What do you think about that kind of stuff?
It seems like giveaways are going away. Like Instagram, I've seen some like some results come. I don't know if it's from Instagram or if it's just people's like what they think Instagram thinks. That Instagram doesn't like giveaways, or at least the algorithm does not like giveaways. And personally, I've never seen super great results from it. I mean, like I'll do it every once, I would do it every once in a while. I haven't done it in a while. But if you were going to do a giveaway, I think I would do it in my stories. Because then you're rewarding people who are engaging with your content. And if you do partner with another business to do a giveaway, for example, you would want to make sure the business you're partnering with has the same kind of people, the same kind of followers who would want to follow you. Because if you do a partnership on Instagram with someone whose business has nothing to do with you, like if I partnered with plungers, like it wouldn't make much sense because we do like personalized gifts. And you could do a giveaway and you would get the followers and stuff initially, but then they may slowly drop off because you're not posting content that they're interested in. So when it comes to giveaways, just be smart about it. I think like one thing that I tried over the weekend, and I mean it wasn't bad. I guess it went okay. We posted a reel saying that if you place an order between Friday and Sunday, that we were going to pick like random orders and put cash in them. Like it seemed to kind of work. So I think little things like that are not necessarily a giveaway based on Instagram, but you're saying like, hey, this week, like if you like, I'm going to refund a random order that's placed today. So place your order yours will be the one that gets refunded. And then make sure that when you do that kind of stuff that you prove it. Because a lot of people can go and say, oh, I'm going to go do this and then never do it. But what you can do, like for the money, we are going to do it. We're going to put some money in some orders, and we're going to put a little note in the order that says like, hope you enjoy this. Like, be sure to post this on your story and tag us, and then we can reshare that post. It's just more social proof and kind of creating like a community aspect. So if you were refunding orders, for example, maybe you refund that person's order and then you say, be sure to like screenshot this and tag us, you know, kind of thing.
Okay. Do you use the review apps from Shopify, or how do you do reviews on your website?
I use a plugin on Shopify. It's not the Shopify reviews app. Gosh, it's a star. It's a yellow square with a white star in it, and I cannot remember. It's not Yotpo. It's
Is it Trustpilot?
it's stamped.io is what it's called. But
Okay.
There's not a specific reason that I haven't done other ones. I think maybe Stamped at the time was the cheapest one, so I picked that one. But it does allow photos, which I think is huge for reviews, because on Etsy they're able to leave like a photo review, so we want to make sure we offer that same capability on our website.
Yeah, that makes sense. I know in some cases, adding reviews to a website can be seen as a big expense.
Mhm.
You know, particularly the Shopify version, I think is a
It's
couple
free.
$100 a month. Yeah.
But, yeah.
So, yeah, I think the reviews are important, even if it does cost a little money, I think.
Yeah. And most plugins are monthly. So I would just consider that with your website cost. Usually it's nothing terrible, but they are usually a monthly cost.
Do you have any feel for, and this is just something I'm personally interested in, it has no relevance to anybody, but I'm curious about the breakdown of traffic of how much comes from mobile versus desktop or laptops. Do you have any thoughts on that?
92% of my traffic comes from mobile phones.
What percent?
Like 92. It's something crazy like that. So
Wow.
if you are if you have Shopify, I'm assuming some people in here do, whenever you edit your theme, you can click the little phone icon and see what it looks like on a phone. I know I've made the mistake before when I'm editing my website. I would make it look so pretty for a desktop because I'm editing on a desktop and didn't even think about what it looked like on a phone. So I've really had to hone in on making sure that like even if I have to make a choice with, because I'm sure y'all are familiar with this, like Shopify themes. Sometimes if you're doing like a theme element, maybe on your homepage or something, it looks great on like the desktop and then it looks crappy on the phone. Pick the one that looks good on the phone, because remember, most people might not even be going on your desktop site, but it really depends on the industry that you're in. Like for us, we sell gifts. A lot of people start their journey with us on Pinterest. So they're already on their cell phone. Like it's just like a quick thing, like, oh, I need to buy. They're on Facebook, they see somebody gets engaged and they come find us to send them an engagement gift. So usually they're on their phone, but it could be different for other industries. I'm not sure. It really just depends on you, but you can see in your Shopify analytics what the breakdown is. And if you don't have Google Analytics, also get that, and I think you can see even more detail.
Do you use Facebook Pixel as well?
Yes, I do use Facebook Pixel. I don't run it. I'm not running any Facebook ads right now. And that's another thing too. I didn't actually start running any kind of paid marketing or advertising until early last year. So we were able to do quite well on everything without doing paid ads. If anyone else is on Etsy, I've never seen success with the paid Etsy ads. Facebook, we tried Facebook ads and it didn't really work that well for us. We did do like a Facebook page likes campaign and that worked really well, but it may have even been that we just didn't have the right person running them, because I'm not an expert on Facebook. And we've had great success with Warren doing our Google ads, so we tried to do the same thing with Facebook. But you got to be really picky with the person who runs those, and really runs anything. I've had great experiences with Warren, but got to be picky.
Have you found a good Facebook ad person locally?
Maybe Catch Creative.
Okay, I know those guys. Yep.
I think they know a little bit about Facebook. If I was gonna reach out to somebody else again, I would probably start with them.
Yeah. Again, another ECU connection there. Their alum, at least the guy who founded it is an alum.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other thoughts or comments while we have Taylor? And so I
Taylor,
think, go ahead.
Ron Elkins with Hopkins Hemp, not too far down the road from you, honestly. So we're in an industry that has some limitations with CBD as far as how we advertise and market and things like that. So we're a brand new business too, focusing more and more on e-commerce, only about 90 days old, honestly. So, search engine optimization is something that's kind of at the top of my mind. And I hear you talking about a lot of what you guys are doing to be where you want to be on that. Have you ever used or had any good experience with paying someone to help with SEO?
Yes,
Yeah.
Warren Allen. That's the one I pay.
Yeah.
So he does like the like Google Shopping ads for us, but he also kind of consults, which is really nice. So he pulls these reports for us, and let's see, I don't know if I can maybe I can like send an example of a report or something to see what it looks like. But it'll tell you all kinds of like just how you're performing in search, and he can even like, so it's this software called Moz, M-O-Z, but it's like $200 a month. And if you go with Warren, he doesn't charge you as much as the fee is. So it's just cheaper to do it through him because I think he runs different businesses on it. I don't know, he profits off of it somehow, but he'll run our stuff for us and keep track of all of our keywords. And then he'll tell me what blog posts I need to be writing, what keywords I need to focus in on. And then I can actually track my progress, where if I didn't have access to that software, I'd be kind of shooting in the dark a little bit. But there's still a lot you can do without paying someone like that. And I'm all about trying to find the cheapest way to do stuff. So what you can do is try to get to know your customers and what they would type into Google. And then like say, like for me, like what to put in a bridesmaid box is like one of my ones that I look at. So I'll Google that and I'll see what results pop up. And then I try to write blog posts that look like that. Not exactly like that, but in that same format, because obviously Google likes it and it's putting it up near the top. And then usually if you Google something and you scroll down a little bit, you'll see it's kind of hard to describe without seeing it, but like the little white boxes, and it's got like other questions people ask or like other commonly searched things that are related to the thing that you're searching. Those are other really good, usually good blog post titles, honestly. But that can be another way to expand your keywords.
Awesome. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
What do you use for a blog software? Do you have any recommendations on that, Taylor?
If you have a Shopify store, use Shopify. Do not have a separate URL for your blog. It is pointless. I used to do that. And Warren was like, no. It needs to be on the same URL. Because if you're writing blogs on a different blog, if you're writing blogs with SEO purpose, which you should, you can write blogs just for giggles, but maybe someone will read it, maybe not. I don't know. Most of the time, SEO blogs are the way to go because it's helping you in your Google search. And if you format them the right way and you write them the right way, then if someone does come across it and happen to read it, it won't look like gibberish or like a computer wrote it. And Google actually does pay attention to the way you format your blog post. So one example of a blog post that we have that did well was like 10 custom Brewmate Hop Slater Trio ideas. Super niche. We actually rank higher than Brewmate does in Google because of that post. And if you go on the post, it's just numbered like 1 through 10. There's a big picture of different ideas. So if you're scrolling through, it's like almost like inspiration. So if someone was looking for a Brewmate from us and they click on any of those pictures and it takes them to that listing. So lots of internal links to our website that always open in a new tab. You never want to do something that opens in the same tab, unless it is your own website, then I guess you could, but you don't want them to lose your website along the way, basically. And when you're writing blog posts, you also want to do some external links as well. So like say you're writing a blog, I was writing that blog post about Brewmates. I could do a link to Brewmate's website and that could be considered an external link. And Google likes that as well. It wants to see some variety. It wants to see you write like a human. It doesn't want to see you write like, if my keyword was Brewmate, it doesn't want to see me write Brewmate 10 times in a row as a sentence. It wants to see me incorporate it naturally. So I'm not it's called keyword stuffing if you try to do it too often where it doesn't sound natural when you read it out loud. But that's a little thing on blogs. I personally find that not a lot of people actually read them. It's really more for Google. You could write blogs just for fun, but I would honestly make a YouTube video about something that I was trying to communicate to my customers or whatever before I wrote a blog post.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that we talked about, I don't think we talked about it in the last class, but the idea of using the Lumen 5 AI on a blog post to create a video, which you could then upload to YouTube,
I don't know.
would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
What's that?
I don't know what it is. If I have a YouTube post that would go good with a blog and I do it on Shopify, there's a way you can put your YouTube video in. So I usually just do that. I've never heard of the Lumen 5 AI though.
Lumen 5 is actually a video software. So what it does is you put the URL of your blog, it reads the blog and then creates a video.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Tied into the blog, and then you can upload that to YouTube.
Oh, cool.
So
okay.
It's an actual. And it's right, it looks like it was designed specifically for the blog. So it's really cool. I think some of the guys have tried it here in the class.
Huh, very cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there any other thoughts or questions for Taylor while we have her? And I'll post Taylor's email so we can all bother her. I know it won't be too bad, I'm sure. But simpleandsentimental.com is a great place. I've got wine glasses with our farm's name on it that we give to guests when they, we don't give them the mug, we give them wine in the mug. But they have a lot of great stuff. I highly recommend checking it out, especially if you need gifts. And as she said, that their orders get done fast, so you don't have to wait a really long time to get some really cool items. Simpleandsentimental.com. So, or actually, it's simplesentimental.com, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no and in there. My fault. It's a mistake.
But it's called Simple and Sentimental. So really, you can go.
Okay. Well, Taylor, thank you very much for coming on. You're just incredible knowledge and success. We're really proud of you at the faculty side of it, and we're really happy to have you helping all of us as we all try to figure out how to bring this e-commerce up to a good level. So thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. I'm always glad to spend time with you guys, and don't be afraid to email me if you've got any questions or anything. I'm happy to answer to the best of my ability. I'm still trying to figure it out too. So we're all just trying to figure it out together.
I'll be dead before I figure all that out.
Oh, are you sure? I thought you were dead already. What are you talking about?
I am.
Okay, I thought
This
so.
is
All right,
just
everybody.
a
Well,
good.
thank you for tuning in, and same time, same station tomorrow.
Thank you, Taylor.
Nice to meet
Thank you
y'all.
so much.
Thanks, Taylor.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.